So this has the potential to be not only the FAFO of the year, but the FAFO of the century.
Hey, hello everyone, it's Anthony here, enjoying the sunny afternoon in Florida. And guys, I want you to watch these videos and we can draw conclusions later.
It seems that less than 24 hours after Republicans passed these gerrymandered maps and this redistricting bullshit, they're having a little bit of regret, apparently. You see, when you redraw maps, you're not creating land. You can't create land. So you have to take from other districts. And in an attempt to take these 5 seats, they may have inadvertently put 10 other seats into play for 2026. And evidently, Republicans are having a little bit of buyer's remorse. Appears that they can't even gerrymander properly. So this is going to get very interesting. And man, wouldn't that be poetic justice if they ended up having more competitive races in some of those other districts? That would be poetic justice, especially with the gerrymandering that's going on in California and the gerrymandering that's going to be happening in New York. They might have just shot themselves in the foot.
Yes, no doubt. This whole thing going down with the Republicans in Texas and how they may have accidentally screwed themselves over with this gerrymandering thing. It's the best news that we've gotten in a while, but I'm here to tell you there's even more. But I still want you guys to have and be aware of because it adds to the context and it makes all of this even better. Okay, so to start off, we know that in everyone's autopsies of the 24 race, right? It was one of the big things was like, oh, the Democrats lost Hispanic men. Like that was like a thing. Like the Hispanic men loved Trump and voted overwhelmingly for him. And that was one of the things that like contributed to his win. Which y'all know how I feel about that. Let's assume. But the critical mistake that Texas and Republicans in general, right? Because it isn't just Texas. The mistake they made was assuming that Hispanic men, Latino men voting for Trump meant that they also more broadly supported Republicans. And that is not the case, right? Like maybe it was in November. Maybe if Trump had delivered on all the promises that he, making everything richer and better and safer, whatever. If he actually had done that, maybe it would have resulted in Hispanic and Latino men more firmly and more long-term cementing their like Republican right-wing isms, right? But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. As we know, or maybe you don't, polls were done soon after the inauguration and he started doing all the shit. And specifically, among Hispanic, Latino people, and I think maybe specifically among men, like the disapproval rating for Trump went from, I forget the exact numbers, but something like 30s, 40s, meaning a majority supported him, to swinging back to like 60 or something, like how it kind of was before all of this, where it should be, arguably. So in going about this redistricting plan, the whole time, we're assuming, ooh, we got these Latinos for Trump on lock. Like, we're going to get all these... Honey, no. The Latinos that voted for Trump before now see that everything he said was a complete lie. Yeah, it's annoying. It took this long and took all the horrible things actually happening, even though we warned them about it. Yeah, it sucks. But, they've come around now, or seemingly. So I think, like, the whispers going around are that, all these Latino men and, probably Latino women as well who just did the thing where they vote with their husband. We all know that. But that it's going to be real funny in the midterms when all these supposedly like safe red districts just go blue instead. Not to mention, like I talked about in this video, the populations that they had to pull from other safe red districts to make these like mega red districts. By taking them out, they made those previously safe red districts now a little bit more closer to being flippable. So put all that together, you have the previously safe districts that are now a little bit closer to being flippable. And you have these new, presumably built to be red safe districts that also could just flip blue. Again, this is all just speculation based on what we know right now, but I just think that really adds to the funniness of this whole thing. But what do you guys think? As always, comment below and tag your friends, share it with people, tag a Democratic representative or tag a Republican representative to be like, you're fucking stupid. And while I have you, be sure to just follow along because there's gonna be more where this came from.
During the 2024 presidential elections in Texas, Trump defeated Kamala Harris by 14 points, right? Trump got 56%, Kamala Harris got 42%, right? Don't forget that Texas has many registered Democrats than Republicans. 8 million to 6 million, around that ratio. So that means that the presidential elections were decided by independents, not Republicans, not the Democrats. In Texas, the presidential election results were determined by independents.
So please excuse my look. I just came back from the gym. It's a little bit of sweat because that's what Republicans are now doing since they fucked around and found out, and they are too stupid to get anything right. If you have not been up to date, you must have been under a rock. Donald Trump called for Texas to redraw their maps so that he can get 5 more seats. And apparently, I'm not sure, it hasn't been confirmed, and I wanted to put out this before I even looked it up, bitch, because I know it's true. They so stupid. So as they redrew these maps and put them in and hit enter and made their deposit and submitted that bitch, they didn't realize that as they redrew those districts, their own people who were over those districts now may have to run again in the next election. They fucked up their own districts, and now 10 people in Texas are gonna have to run. They gonna have to run, so them bitches may fuck around and lose more than they tried to receive. Yes, Jesus God. And listen, what needs to continue to happen? California, I know y'all are smarter than Texas. Keep going for it. Redraw those maps. New York, keep going for it. Redraw those maps. Maryland, keep going for it. Redraw those maps. Illinois, keep going for it. Redraw those maps. They started this, and let's finish this shit. Because, baby, game time is now.
Understands voting matters, Republicans. You know who also understands voting matters? Black women. Because not listening to black women was the literal snowball effect of the century. Because run it back. For the past 7-8 months, Donald Trump has been doing absolutely egregious shit. Couldn't get rid of black people initially. Can't do that. Because that would be too obvious. So it's going after the other minorities. Hispanics and ICE, illegal aliens, all that dumb shit. Trying to penalize Asian students, saying they can no longer come to the U.S. to get an education via the colleges and universities. Then someone in Trump's cabinet gets the bright idea to call up Texas to do some redistricting. That way they can gain 5 seats in the House of Representatives, because there are things Donald Trump is trying to do between 2027 and 2029 to ensure he never has to leave office again. Governor Hot Wheels is like that. It's twofold. One, you guys can get a majority in the federal House of Representatives, and you can get rid of Jasmine Crockett because she's been frying you like Montgomery Brawl cookout. Do you know what I'm saying? So they were like, let's do it. Problem is, everyone else found out about it because the Texas Democrats left the state. People online, oh my God, it was so performative. Was it? Because in 2 weeks of them being gone, California can vote on redistricting in November before 2026 midterms. Unlike what's happening in Texas, where they're probably going to be sued. They're probably going to be sued because they're actively disenfranchising their voters. But it gets better. Fast forward to the actual redistricting happening. Turns out Republicans might have fucked up. They might have screwed up royally because they redistrict and redrew their maps in a way that instead of gaining 5 seats, they could very well lose 10. And all of this is happening because people were too afraid to possibly let a black woman run this country. Had y'all voted for Kamala Harris and just let her be the first female black president, you probably could have kept your seats in Texas because no one would be talking about redistricting. No one would be talking about that. Now everybody's talking about it and openly having conversations about like, hey, gerrymandering's bad. Yes, it is. Everyone's been doing it. It's been a thing that we've done. Never did it midterm though. It usually happens every 10 years. Republicans needed to pass things in the next 2 years that they could not get with this current House now. And that is how we got here. So when you say voting doesn't matter, look at all of the shenanigans Republicans are going through to try to disenfranchise you from voting. And you guys are just like, the system's broken. No, it's not. The system is absolutely working to Republicans' favor because they know how to get their base out in the ballot boxes. Fear and hate works. And that is how Republicans have to motivate people to come out. The other way they ensure power is by cheating. So fear plus cheating equals the Republican Party. That's math. So in the future, do yourself a favor. Just listen to Black women. All of this could have been avoided, and you would save yourself a lot of trouble if you just took all of your critical thinking out bloop, and said, what would Black women do? What will Black women do? Please and thank you. Okay? All right. You guys have a good one.
Texas has a huge Latino population. And one of the reasons that many Latino voters gave Trump their votes, first and foremost, was the cost of living. He promised to bring down the cost of living. Has he done so? So tell me how redrawing the district maps will guarantee him seats when he has not made up to his greatest promise.
Nah, but for real though, it was kind of stupid of them to even want to pursue gerrymandering. Like, you're going up against blue states that are huge, that could literally wipe out whatever y'all are trying to do. I mean, make it make sense. Y'all already in the doghouse. People don't want to vote for you regardless. Like, they don't even care if you are a good Republican. It doesn't even matter anymore. You're a part of the crew, and if you're part of the crew, listen, you're just guilty by association. So at this point, good luck and good riddance.
Under this map, white Texans receive one member of Congress for every 445,000 residents. If you are Hispanic, it takes about 1.4 million residents for that same representation. If you are Black, it takes 2 million. In this proposal, a Hispanic Texan has 1/3 the political value of a white Texan under this plan, and a Black Texan 1/5. It would take 3 Hispanics to equal the representation of 1 white Texan and 5 Black Texans to equal the value of 1 white Texan. Under these lines, Texas Hispanics will be the most underrepresented population group in all 50 states. The level of underrepresentation will far exceed what even conservative courts have struck down in Louisiana, Alabama, and just yesterday in Mississippi. And yet, when confronted with these facts, a common distraction from proponents of this map is to point a finger at California or Illinois and to say, everyone does it. But no Democratic map in California or Illinois systematically erases representation for a population that is 60% of this state. This map is an abomination.
Call Donald Trump anything, but never call him stupid. In 2022, the Supreme Court ruled out that Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio map were drawn along racial lines, right? But again, these states, they are all Republican states, right? But again, in October of 2023, in a case where the residents of South Carolina went to court claiming that the Black voters were diluted with white voters so as to reduce their voice in elections, the Supreme Court ruled that it is hard to rule on the intent of the legislators who are drawing the maps, right? So it is very hard to claim racial bias in the Supreme Court. That's why this case of gerrymandering cannot be won in court. What Gavin Newsom is doing, what New York is doing, what Maryland is doing, that is the way to go.
Please give us your testimony.
I drove here 3 hours to get here. I came from Abilene, Texas. And if I'm willing to drive 3 hours to come here and talk, I'm gonna ask you to get off your phone and listen to what I have to say. You got a call from Donald Trump. He told you to go find 5 seats. No, he got asked, how many seats? He said 5. He was asked on the news. You say, we don't have any maps. Well, how in the hell does Donald Trump know he's going to get 5 seats? I bet you anything there's maps that are there. This is ridiculous. A man a few days ago was arrested because he spoke too long at the lectern. He spoke too long and y'all said, oh, he had to be arrested because he broke the rules. How many of you are going to get arrested for breaking the rules of mistreating the citizens of this state? You're breaking the rules. We are the citizens of this nation. We're the ones, it's supposed to be bottom up, not top down. I'm going to say this one thing to you. You know it's wrong. In your heart, you know it's wrong.
Friends, State Representative Cristina Morales here, and I wanted to give you an update on what's happening right now with the Texas redistricting. So yesterday, the Texas House passed the new congressional redistricting maps, and today they've moved over to the Senate for approval. These maps are designed to silence communities of color through racial gerrymandering, and we're not going to stand by and let that happen. Meanwhile, in California, Governor Gavin Newsom just signed his redistricting bill, but here's the difference. He gave his constituents a direct say by putting it to a vote of the people. That's transparency, that's democracy. Here in Texas, Republicans are ramming through the maps behind closed doors. Democrats will be filing a lawsuit to challenge these maps in court because the clock is ticking. We cannot allow these discriminatory maps to lock voters out of fair representation in the 2026 midterm. And here's a side note that should outrage every Texan. One of the MAGA Republicans has already filed to run in one of these stolen districts, District 9, before the ink on the maps is even dry. That tells you everything you need to know about how rigged this process really is. And it's not just Texas. Other Republican-controlled states are already starting their own redistricting efforts, all aimed at cementing power instead of giving people a voice. So let me be clear. This fight is about democracy itself. We're going to stand up, speak out, and do everything in our power to make sure every Texan's vote counts and every community has a voice.
Now let's wrap this up, guys. Texas has 17.4 million registered voters. Out of those, 8.1 million are Democrats. 6.6 million are Republicans. 2.75 million are independents. Tell me, why did Kamala Harris get 4.8 million votes in 2024 election results? Where were the other 2.5 plus million voters? Where were they? No, let's not count the independents, right? Let's count only the Democrats. Why did 2.5 plus million Democrats not show up to vote? 2.5 or 2.3? Where were they? The problem we have currently is the Democrats' vote turnout. We are protesting, but the real the real problem is the Democrats who don't come out to vote when we have a lunatic at the White House. You give them a free pass to the presidency. Texas is a Democrat state. It's a swing state. But the reason it's not a swing state is because of Democrats who don't come out during the elections to vote. It's a real problem. So, while we protest, while we accuse Trump of anything, let's look in the mirror. Where are the Democrats who are staying at home during the elections? Where are they? Why do you give this man a chance to run our country to oblivion? Why? So guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, this is a wake-up call. Do so. We are an independent media. Donald Trump cannot sue us like he sued ABC and what have you. He cannot sue us because we are independent. We have no asset to seize. So support us so that we can continue to shine light on the evil that is going out in this government, right? Subscribing to our channel, comment, become a member if you can. Yeah.